to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes, yes.
why we have mentioned it as a zero to hero for us or for any of the past participants or present participants of the courses, we are teaching all of these aspects from scratch. It doesn't matter if you have a knowledge about it, it doesn't matter if you know nothing about it. We are telling all the facts minutely in very detail from the scratch so that anyone, any of even a fresh law graduate can understand what contract redlining is. So I'll just brief you through about this course. So first session that we take. So basically, it's a 2 month certification course of end-to-end contract life cycle management, and there are almost 7 to 8 sessions that we take. We take them on weekdays only because there are a lot of people in our batches who are working professionals. So we take them on weekends. So per session, I think it ranges around something of 3 to 4 hours or 2 to 3 hours probably. So I'll just start telling you about the sessions in brief, what all those session includes. So the first session is basically the introduction session to the contract lifecycle management, which basically talks about the post execution, the pre execution part in the CLM cycle, what is basically the contract life cycle management is, and all the important clauses in the CLM in a contract, what is post execution work, what is pre execution work, what are the job opportunities in the post execution field, pre execution field, all the steps that is involved. As we know, there is a lot of steps involved when you start with the contract till its execution. Post execution work is there, so we brief about all the steps that is involved in contract lifecycle management. Then coming to the next session that we take is, so what we do in this session is, as we are more and more focused towards the practical learning and insights and aspect of contracts, so me and Pragya will be taking a whole full-fledged draft, and we would be vetting that particular draft live in the live session itself in front of the participant, so that they actually know how we start uh, redlining a contract when it comes into a picture. So in this session, we take a full-fledged whole draft and we vet all the clauses. As we have shown earlier, like a snippet of like the payment term, we have made redlining in it. In this session, we would be taking whole draft from scratch. So we would be obviously telling you about what redlining is, why it is important, what is ineffective redlining, what are the challenges you face through if when you start a contract redlining. Then coming to the next session, that is session 3. So once we are over with the session 2, what me and Pragya will do is, me and Pragya would be sharing a new draft with all the
Achal,
participants. Hello?
Achal, your voice is breaking a lot. Achal, your voice is breaking a lot.
Hello?
Yeah, now it's
Yes,
fine.
you are audible, Achal.
Okay. So I am I clear till session second?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So after second session, what me and Pragya will do is, we would be sharing a draft to all the participants. And as you guys have already learned how you do the contract redlining from second session, so then all the participants are requested to basically redline that draft from scratch, so that before we start with the session number third, you guys have worked on a full-fledged draft on your own. So in this session third, we gonna share that draft only, which you guys have vetted, but it would be vetted by us, and we would be taking up all the doubts and everything, and we would be comparing that particular draft which was vetted by you and the
Hmm.
same draft vetted by us, so that now you could actually compare and you could see all the fallback languages, all the fallouts that have been missed probably, or if you are good to go, so that you have a better understanding of what actually needs to be done in a contract. So in this session, we would be discussing that particular draft with you. The draft which you have vetted from scratch. We would be discussing all the clauses from the scratch with you so that you have a knowledge and you have that insight and a thought process of what you have missed in the contract. Okay, coming to the fourth session. So once a contract like the redlining is done, so there might be few chances or few cases when both the parties are not on a mutual consent. When both the parties are not on a mutual consensus, ki okay, this is our draft. No. So there might be few chances and few cases. So in that case, what basically happens is practically a negotiation calls takes place where the legal counsel of service provider and the service recipients are there with the different stakeholders on the call, and then they discuss all those clauses which are not accepted by either of the parties and which are at stake and which are important, obviously important for either of the parties. So everything is then discussed on that call. So that's what we call it as a contract negotiation call. So in session 4, me and Pragya had shown you a draft in session number 2, which me and Pragya have vetted it. So in this session number 4, as to give you a full-fledged insight about the contract negotiation, we would be representing each side. Pragya would be representing the service providers and I would be representing the client side,
Hmm.
that is service recipient. And we would be doing contract negotiation live in this session in front of all the participants so that you know how to do contract negotiation professionally as well as practically. So you'll get all the insights, everything, what you say in contract negotiation, how you represent your company, how you represent your company's interest, everything is being told under this session. Okay, so moving to the next session. So in this session, as obviously I am more and more emphasizing towards the practical implication of contracts. So in the third session there was one draft which were given to all the participants for the vetting and the redlining purpose. So in fifth and sixth sessions, what we gonna do is we gonna make few groups, and you and all the participants would be taking up a side, and you would be representing representing of either the service provider
Okay.
or the client side, and me and Pragya would be negotiating from the other side. So that now, as in the earlier session you have gone through how the contract negotiation takes place and everything, so now you can actually negotiate by jumping in the shoes of that particular side. So that this is basically like the basic motive behind these session is to actually give you all the practical exposure to it. Ki, okay, this is how it needs to be done. So these session you guys, all the participants would be doing contract negotiation from one end, and me and Pragya would be on the other side. Then coming to the last 7, 8, or 9 sessions. So what we have done is, as now we have all the knowledge and practical exposure to contract negotiations, redlining. So we're gonna discuss all the important pointers, how to land a job as an in-house legal counsel, what is very important and what is not important, what you need to focus on. Then the CV rebuilding and redesigning according to the current market scenario, according to if you were working in post execution but you wanna go to pre-execution job or land up as a pre-execution job. So we obviously tell you how you can redesign up your CVs. So that gonna really help you. And apart from that, it's like we gonna share more drafts with you so that it's not like you have just vetted one single draft. We gonna share like more drafts with you. So once you are done with the redlining of those drafts, you can mail back to us. We will share the vetted version. So then you can just sit back, relax, and you can just go through one clause by one clause, so that now you have a particular insight about it, like, okay, this, I had made changes in this clause, I had made changes in payment term, I missed termination clause, but it needs to be
Mm.
taken care of. So you gonna be having certain drafts apart from the draft which is provided in the session, so that you obviously, it's, as I have mentioned, it's an art. You will ace in it as more and more you practice in it.
Yes, yes. When we are looking into the company draft and practicing on day-to-day basis, then only the start will come. Yeah, it is a manner of practice. Not only this, anything which we are doing for the first time, it takes time. Then on to the
Yes.
next 3-4 times, just decreases your time and increases your efficiency in the
Yes,
perspective
obviously.
of this
So
thing.
it's like, I'll tell you about myself. I have been working for more than five years. So it's like,
Hmm.
now if I get a contract and it needs to
Hmm.
be redlined, so I just check it if I am on the service providers end or on a recipient end, and then I'll just quickly go to the important clauses directly. Obviously, we need a
Yes,
thorough go through a look to all the contract and
hmm.
read it word by word. But then after so much of practice, we know where to hit directly. So this is all about the practical part. Anyone can know what termination for cause or convenience is, but it is really important to understand, like, what and how to imply it in a contract, because it gonna change. I'll give you an example. If we are talking, if we I am on service providers end, okay, the what I'll imply and what I'll push to is, like, the, for example, the payment term. I will obviously want the payment term to be minimum, right, if I am representing service providers end. But if you are jumping in the shoes of the client, obviously client would want the maximum payment term, right? So that they are at ease. So there is a lot of difference. On the internet or on in the theoretical knowledge, you can get the meaning of payment term. But if you are having the right practical exposure to it, if you are having all the practical knowledge about it, you then know, like, payment term will then differ. For one side, it is great to have 30 days, but for another side, it will be great to have it as 45 days or maybe 60 days. And same goes for all the clauses. So that's what we are basically aiming, because it's like, it is like, it was very hard for us to also to get practical knowledge, but it wasn't available on internet anywhere. Obviously, we
yes,
were also
yes.
getting
It's not
the
available
theoretical.
anywhere on the internet. Yeah.
Yes, so we were also getting a lot of theoretical knowledge. You search about limitation of liability, you'll get a lot of about it, but then it won't be there now. You have to put a liability capping on it, right? So this
Yes.
won't be there. So this is something which you'll get when you start doing it practically, or when you start having all the practical exposure to contracts. So this is like our basic motive, and behind launching this course was, this was specifically redesigned, rebuilt according to the current market and the, like, the practical exposure to contract. And I think there would be one question about the contract drafting part is, so why we haven't put drafting from scratch is, when you go for any of the company, they are working on standard templates that you have. If you talk about
Yes.
MSAs, SOWs, NDAs, so 99.9% there is no drafting from scratch. We have a standard template bucket from where, if we want to pick SOWs, if we want to pick MSA, we have that standard template. And in other cases, if I am representing service provider, and if the client wants their draft to be put up there and signed up by the parties, so we obviously get their draft, which we call a third party paper. So these are something which you will obviously get into this course, which you will learn slowly, because we're gonna start it from scratch so that anyone could understand, because we have a lot of participants who are in their fourth or fifth year. So obviously they won't know about a lot about things, how things work in professional life, how things work in a corporate sector. We have participants which are coming directly from litigation background. but they now gonna
Mhm.
want to go for corporate sector. So that's why we are giving all the sessions, everything from scratch, so that anyone could understand, and it would be really great for them.
That's the only objective, yeah, of this session. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So are there any questions from you, from your end?
So Achal, basically you will be taking the sessions on the Saturday and Sundays. Can I know the timings of the Saturday when it will be convened on the Saturdays?
It's like we usually take sessions on Sundays in the first half, so it would be around 11 or 12. Uh,
No, not on Sundays. I'm speaking of Saturdays. Saturdays.
no, no, Saturday, what we do is Saturday is given to all the participants to come up with their doubts. So if the participants are having their doubts, they usually connect with us and clear up all their doubts.
Yes.
If they are not available, because in most of the cases, people are working on Saturdays also.
Yes, because my office is also open for
Right.
Saturdays for the
So
3 weeks, and for 1 week it will be off for Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, what we tell them is all the participants can take up their doubts in the Sunday session. So before
Hmm.
starting up the session, what we do is we take up all the doubts and then we start
Hmm.
the session. So
Yeah,
Saturdays are
that's okay. That's
basically safe for all the doubts, and Sundays we have those sessions.
okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay.
So,
So
so it will be for a period of for 2 months, right? Right, February and March.
right, 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 right. Yes. Because I'll tell you, I'll be very honest about it. There is no timeline as such. If we are taking session on contract negotiation, but me and Pragya thinks like this particular batch needs to be taken down like slowly,
A
or
lot more.
some medium pace to be given, so we take it in two sessions. So I'll be
Okay,
very
okay,
honest,
that is good.
there is no limit to what we actually give, because after these session, what we want is people to actually get a thorough knowledge of contract negotiations and how everything works practically.
Yes,
So
so that things can
yes,
become easier for them from because they know from where to think of what things need to be taken
obviously
care
this,
of, and then only yeah.
yes, this gonna develop the thinking and the thought process of how you
Yes,
actually
obviously,
think as an
obviously,
in-house
yeah.
legal counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this was a just about the course. There is a lot to learn in the course, because there are a lot of clauses that we aim at and that are really important for any of the side, be it the provider or the recipient side. And yes, we are taking registrations and we're gonna start in February next month, and we are halfway filled for that batch. And I think today we have more than 10 demo sessions that are lined up, so we're gonna fill that batch today itself. That what we are thinking, because see, we are not taking more than 10 registrations in a single batch, because we actually want all the participants to be really communicative and to be really active and to interact like personally with us, so that they can actually learn from this. So we are not taking like hundreds or 200 registrations. If we are getting more registrations, we are making batch out of it, but more and more we are taking 10 people in a single batch, so that everyone could communicate and contact easily.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So, what is the last date of registration, Achal?
See, we are taking it so participants are like registering ASAP. So when it's like convenient to you, because we are putting participants according to the batches that we are making. So it's like first come, first serve basis. So as soon as a participants register, we put them in the like the batch that's gonna start super soon.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So the I get the image which you have shared with me on the LinkedIn. From there, I can just get my
Yes.
registration
So
done, right?
yes, you can drop me a message over LinkedIn. I'll share you the QR, like the payment number, and then once you make the payment is, as of now, it was Previously it was 5,000 rupees, but as of now we have reduced it to 2,499. That's 2,500. So we are taking registration. So once you pay on that number, you can go and fill up a Google form, attach payment screenshot, and fill up your details. So that's a simple, easy process to register.
Okay, so you can just share that QR code with on that link on the LinkedIn Google LinkedIn chat, so that I can just make the payment and proceed further. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Harsh. Definitely, definitely. Looking forward to it. Okay, I think then we can wrap up. We have another
Yes,
sessions
yes,
lined
yes.
up
We can definitely. Yeah.
at 12:30, so that we also can take a 5 minutes break. So if there would be any of the doubts, we are connected on LinkedIn. If you can search us on LinkedIn, you can connect with us. And obviously, we are happy to
Yeah.
help. Even post after this course, once you register, the
Yes,
course
yes, that
completes.
would be my
Yeah,
next
yeah,
question
yeah.
is that when we would be that if I require your assistance on certain things or need your guidance, so whether you will be
Yes,
available for
definitely,
that certain
definitely,
things or not.
definitely.
Yeah.
I had
Or
posted.
actually, the problem is that it will just take for me 3 to 4 months to work on the contract, whether it be service agreement, customer agreement, supplier, NDA, or the tri-party agreement. So once we just get to know the intent from both the party side, first
Right,
party,
right.
second party, then I can just go through the same. So it is, yeah. And secondly, as you repeated earlier, that it is just a matter of practice. So when the practice is going
Correct.
again and again, then it becomes a very simple task for all of us. It's at the starting of the point, it is quite a Herculean task. Yeah.
Right, definitely, definitely, Harsh. I'll just drop your message over LinkedIn. You can register for it.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
as well, Pragya.
Thanks for your time. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for a great session.
Thank you, Vash. Have a good day. Bye.